Hello, welcome to Nahashon Kimemia Live. I'm sorry I could not be there yesterday, but today is as good as a day as any. So today we'll be talking about Wilkins Fadhili Odinga, right? So it got me thinking, right? Who is Wilkins Fadhili Odinga? Because I've never heard of him until he started training just the other day ago. And I thought Odinga perhaps is related to the Odingas. But it seems that that's not what the case is. He's not related to them. But then, what does Odinga mean? I never knew what Odinga means. Can somebody other please tell me what Odinga means? I would really love to know. So anyway, I don't know what that means. I know that Fadhili means kindness. So perhaps this guy is kind, or perhaps guys are kind to this guy. We will find out as we go on. But what I do know is that Wilkins means son of William. And we all know one big politician who's called William Ruto. So does this guy have the same traits as William Ruto has? Because Wilkins means the son of William. So anyway, how does this guy earn his living? He is a self-proclaimed brand strategist. People who help you develop your brand and build it so that you can become a household name. Who wouldn't want that? I myself am trying to make myself a household name, right? So perhaps I need the services of this guy. He is the founder, or was the founder and CEO of Fashion Torch and Brand Lab Africa. So guys had to pay for training to go for mentorship at this guy's business, right? So they had to pay 30,000 per training, let's say per training for the training, right? And for the mentorship. And that would last for 10 months. So that's 30K for 10 months. So if it's 10 people, or if it's 20 people, or it's 50 people, that's a lot of people and a lot of cash. So that's how he used to make his cash. Did he deliver? We'll find out as we go. So what accolades did this guy win? He was a mentor on Blaze is a Safaricom platform that focuses on youth mentorship, right? So he was a mentor to the youth on behalf of a big company, the most profitable company in East and Central Africa. So this guy has to be good. This guy has to be delivering results, right? He was also in the Business Daily, right? Top 40 under 40 Kenyans. So this guy really has to be good. Otherwise, why would he be in such prestigious, let's say like a category, right? With such prestigious names, right? Top 40 under 40. So he really has to be doing something. He was in the nominated, right, to the Forbes top 30 under 30. So you can really see that this guy has accolades, right? He has a company behind him. And let's see what the son of William also has, right? So what kind of training did he have? He graduated from Daystar University, according to himself, with a master's degree, in which course I have not found out. And he studied at Leeds University in the UK, according to him. What did he study? I do not have information of that. So what kind of achievements led to these accolades, right? What kind of... why would people put him in the Business Daily top 40 under 40? Why would they nominate him to Forbes top 30 under 30, right? They would do that, right? Because apparently the guy, when he was 24 years old, now I think he's 27, he bagged 16.5 million investment from a US firm. 16.5 million is not small money. It's big money, especially when you're 24-year-old and you're supposed to handle that. That means that people believe in you. And who knows, perhaps by the time you're 29, you'd be like Kidero, head of a big farm all over Africa, and you're not earning bananas, right? So anyway, this guy had 12.5 million, and not in bananas, in Kenyan shillings from a US farm, according to himself again. And then he sold, before he went abroad, because he went to Leeds University, right? He used to sell 3,000 chapatis daily to support his studies abroad, so that he could go abroad. And you can imagine, selling 3,000 chapatis is not an easy thing to do. You're on there with the jiko, it's hot, you're spinning. Other guys are coming around. Anyway, so people looked at this kind of achievements and they put them in those categories, right? And one more thing, he also claimed that he worked with many people to develop their brands, right? Or in some other kind of way. He claimed that he worked with Larry Madowo, Betty Kialo, or Chalo, Elani is the music group, Adele Onyango, right? She's a presenter at Kiss 100. I think she does photo free day or something. And then there's Willis Raburu, right? He presents 10/10, former Mo University student, right? And then there's Julius Yego, the guy who threw the javelin and learned from YouTube how to do that. And then there's Victoria Rubadiri. She came from the States. She had a traumatic experience over there, and she was able to build herself up here. And this guy, right, Fadhili, the son of William, is claiming that he helped her build her brand while she was here. So you can see all of these things, right? And you can see why people would say that this guy, perhaps he needs to be he's the top 40 under 40, because it seems he's moving somewhere. He's a mentor at Blaze, which is funded, right, or which is supported by the most successful company East and Central Africa, Safaricom, right? So those are the achievements that Fadhili, the son of William, was claiming back in the day, right? So what is he claiming today? He claims that he's part of the team that rebranded Mr. Price to Mr. P, right? So that removed 3 names, and that's part of his achievements, right? And then he worked with Annalisa Muigai. I really don't know her, but perhaps she's, I don't know. I'm not into these celebrity kind of things. But she seems to be somebody important. Otherwise, he wouldn't be claiming that he works with her. So these are the claims that Fadhili, the son of William, made, right? And there's somebody else who's in this story. Her name is Ruth Ambogo. And so Ruth Ambogo was the lady that exposed all of his lies and really brought the fodder, the meat that was able to make him trend and perhaps give other people enough energy or enough just to help people come out, to motivate them to come out and speak the truth about what was happening, right? So Ruth Ambogo is I think she's 25 years old at this time. She was appointed country director of the Young African Women in Leadership in 2014 when she was just 21 years old, right? So these guys are doing big things when they're young. Some guys receiving 16.5 million when he's 24. This lady is appointed country director of Young African Women in Leadership when she's 21. Makes you wonder what you're doing with your life, right? So she co-founded the Young Kenyan Women Leaders, right, YKWL, in 2015 when she was 22 years old. And this thing has operations all over Kenya. She was picked in 2015, right? The same year she co-founded KYWL as the project director of an initiative known as Women Campaign School. So it seems that people trusted her because she was appointed country director of the Young African Women Leadership in 2014 when she was 21. You have to have a lot of trust to appoint somebody as a director when she's just 21. To appoint somebody as a project director when in 2015 when she was 22 years, you have to have a lot of faith in her. So it seems that people had faith in Ruth and people had faith in the other Fadhili, the son of William. So what was her background? Like, what was Ruth's background, right? Remember, Ruth in the Bible suffered a lot. Let's see about this Ruth. She was the firstborn in a family of 3. She was partly raised in Kibera and Western Kenya. She joined Loreto High School. I would have loved to know which Loreto she joined, because there's another one in Western. It's near, it's near Kitale. So I don't know if it's that one. Perhaps the one that Carol Mutoko went to, the Loreto Convent Valley Road or something. But then it's a Loreto High School. I'm thinking it's the one near Kitale. And she was, she says that her parents struggled to raise her fees. These are all reports that I'm getting from the Daily Nation, the newspapers. And all of this information I'm getting from the newspapers. And I'll speak about that. How did Ruth perform when she was in high school? During the first 2 years, she says that she was a D student. And then she promised herself and the people around her, let's say her parents and everybody, that she would get an A. And she did. So she earned a full scholarship to Strathmore University to study law. A true success story, wouldn't you believe? It's almost as unbelievable as selling 3,000 chapatis to study at Leeds University. Her role model is lawyer and politician Martha Karua. So you can see where perhaps her fire is coming from, why she wouldn't back down. How did she perform at Strathmore University? She entered a program, it's called Elimisha Stratizen. She was a beneficiary of that program, where they kind of like students of Strathmore, from the reports I hear, they usually contribute some funds, and then those funds, they go to needy students within the school. So it's kind of like students helping students. Sounds like a very good thing. I believe that it is. So she was also a student representative at Strathmore Student Council, right? She entered the dean's list at Strathmore University. It seems to be a list where the dean takes note of a couple of students who might succeed in future or something. So she was part of that list. And then her dream was to get a scholarship at Harvard University, Kennedy School of Government. She wanted to study public policy and governance. So those were her dreams, right? And remember, she landed a scholarship at Strathmore. So perhaps her dream at Harvard University, Kennedy School of Government, a scholarship there, was also valid, right? So Ruth Ambogo is no joke, right? In terms of wealth. Because I remember there's a social media report that says that she pays rent 70,000 per month. That's the amount she pays rent. I think that's the salary for an entry level at PwC and the other big fives, right? So perhaps that's what she did. She borrowed 100,000 from a friend that turned into a court case. So she couldn't pay 100,000 back to her friend. It actually went to court. So that's kind of another kind of thing, right? You pay rent 70,000, but you can't pay back a friend 100,000 and then deal with this guy on your own. It has to go to a court case. Kind of the life that we live. So where is all the drama coming from? Fadhili, the generous one, or the one people are generous to, the son of William, is doing really good. Top 40 under 40, top 30 under 30. Mentor at Blaze, right? Supported by Safaricom. And this other one, YKWL at 22. Appointed country director at 22, the same age. And still appointed another position as a director when she was 21. They actually thought that she was too young to handle that kind of thing. So she had to move now to YKL. So where's all the drama coming from? The house of cards crumbles at times. And people would love to see it crumble, right? Like what part will fall first and followed by which other part. So this cookie crumbled. This house of cards came tumbling down. The castle built on using sand at the beach, it collapsed. And that's where all this drama is coming from. Because number one, he never handled the brand for the celebrities that he was claiming. Larry Madowo called him out on Twitter. Victoria Rubadira called him out on Twitter. Elani called him out. Adele called him out. She actually asked for a retraction from him. Her management team, the team that managed her brand, they actually called him and told him, you do not manage a brand, we do. And we asked for a retraction. He apologized. He never gave back he never issued a retraction. And then there was Edith Kimani, right? Herself, I think she has some stories, right? Where she came from one certain kind of school and she went to a rich school and it was hard for her. Anyway, a lot of stories about her. And she asked she called out this guy for what he was doing because he didn't handle her. Then there's Betty Kialo. He also called out her. He took a selfie with her as they were having coffee, right? And he posted it and made it seem as though they were working together. She says that they never worked together, and that was a meeting so that he could pitch. The pitch did not lead anywhere. And then he went off with somebody's rent money because they had partnered and at his hub, and she was renting space where she could do her fashion stuff, and perhaps people would see her fashion stuff while she was there. He went off with her rent money. Better Otieno of Ojua styling. Very sad. So any other people call him out on his lies. Wangeshi, she's a rapper. She's a young rapper, right? Don't know much of her songs, but she's a young rapper. And he called him out on his songs. And she said that you've done this for 3 years now. And I was thinking, if you knew that this guy had done this for 3 years, why didn't you speak? For all these people who were, he was using their name to, let's say, con other people, right? Why didn't you speak up? Why did you have to wait for Larry Madowo? Why did you have to wait for Ruth Ambogo, right? Because only when these guys spoke did you guys start speaking out forcefully and continuously, right? But otherwise you guys kept numb. And they say that the only thing that it takes for evil to triumph is for good people to keep quiet. And those guys kept quiet. And for 3 years, these guys continued what he was doing, right? And then there's one of his workers, Anne Kiriamiti, and she says she was always wondering, as in, if this guy is a millionaire, why is he struggling to keep his hub afloat? That business that he had, where guys would come and pay 30,000 to him for 10 months worth of training. And it's kind of like the questions that we usually have. How would some guy, right, who is pushing this, like back in the day, if you ever experience it, networking, these networkers, GNLD and all those other kind of people, they come, they push a product for you, telling you how you can become a millionaire in 2 years or in 1 year or even in 6 months. But the guy who's telling you does not look anywhere close to being a millionaire, and he's been at it for 6 years or for 5 years or even for 3 years, but he's telling you that he can be a millionaire that fast. Yes, there's a proverb that says, beware of a man who is offering you a shirt when he does not have one, right? So this is the case. I think Anne Kiriamiti was kind of like trying to evaluate. And why was so? There was drama because celebrities call him out, and when celebrities call you out, a number of celebrities, then what happens, of course, is that you'll start trending because the followers of those celebrities also speak. And then, yes, when people call you out and all of this kind of stuff, the hilarious stunts. That's why this guy, there was all so much drama. Because remember, there's so many cons in Kenya. So many cons. But this guy was the one who was trending. Personally, I believe that Gurale or some, I don't know his exact name. I believe that he's a con, right? But he's not trending. This guy is trending, right? Okay, so hilarious stunts. This guy has hilarious stunts. He convinced his students, those guys who were paying 30,000 for 10 months training, right, to contribute money to pay for the internet at that place where they were training. So it's kind of like going to Moi University, and Moi University is telling you to pay for the internet. And telling you can go to Margaret Thatcher library and then you'll use the internet, so pay for it, all those kinds of things. Just, I don't know how the students bought it, but anyway, people can buy certain kinds of stuff. So he moves from one company to another like nothing happened, because when his hub fails, right, he can't pay internet, he can't pay for the office, he can't pay for anything. He just moves to other startups, and this time he's a bit wise. He doesn't have offices, he doesn't have websites. All he sells you is hot air, and people buy that hot air. A lot of people. He apologizes and asks for forgiveness every time he is caught. And like Wangeshi says, this guy went for 3 years doing this kind of stuff. And he apologizes and he asks for forgiveness every time he does it. Makes you wonder, did he really mean the apology? Was it sincere? So anyway, Fadhili, son of William, according to this guy, I think Robert Alai, you guys know him, he has no official place of residence. According to Ruth Ambogo, he lives with women he hits on, and he swindles them their money and then moves on to the next woman, right? So a lot of dudes do this kind of stuff because there's somebody who said women, they love to be lied to. That's number one. Number two is that yes, women are emotional, so manipulating their emotions is not that hard. So you can do it, and you do it to survive. A lot of men do it. Vera Sidika was accusing Otile Brown of doing it. Or yes, Vera Sidika was accusing Otile Brown of doing it, and she was saying that somebody back in the day of Otile said that. So this case do it a lot. Louis Oteno was also accused of doing it back in the day, right? So I think that these things happen, and they happen a lot. And of course, when a man uses a woman, right, in that kind of way, it's a big kind of thing. When a woman uses a man, it's kind of like a normal kind of thing, because we assume that they're supposed to do that. Double standards. We'll talk about that in future. Fadhili, the son of William, even lied in one instance, right, that President Uhuru called him to State House so that he can help him draw an entrepreneurship plan for the youth. So you can see what the son of William is actually trying to do. He's name dropping, and he drops a lot of names, right? And when you do that, you get the people's attention. Because somebody, let's say, admires Larry Madowo, and here you are talking about Larry Madowo as if you know him personally. That person would pay greater attention to you and to what you say. You'd actually earn legitimacy by using his name. And that person would be more willing to give you money, even though you're not showing much in terms of evidence, than they would to any other person. So that's why people drop names a lot. So anyway, just to move back, legitimacy from the media. The media gave him legitimacy. Eve Standard Group, they are the ones who carried the chapati story, right? And when people see that the Standard is here, it's saying that this person cooked chapatis, 3,000 chapatis per day, and that's how he went to Leeds University. People would believe that. And the media is actually helping these con men. They are part of the con. And they need to be held accountable, because you can't do this to people. Because they believe, there's that inherent belief that the media, they verify their stories. They can't be so stupid to run a story without verifying it. Without doing the chapati math. Before you put somebody in the business daily, top 40 under 40. As in, we assume that you guys are serious. Because you guys are dealing with chief executive officers. You know that the kind of people who are reading this kind of newspaper, even the guys who are trying to start up, right? The Ruth Ambogo, the law students at Strathmore University, business students at Moore University. Everybody is reading these newspapers, and they believe that you guys are not so stupid, right? That you'd actually put somebody top under 40 without carrying out due diligence on the person. What does it take to just call up Daystar University and ask them, how did this student perform? What would it take to just ask this guy, tell us your fellow students at Daystar, let us talk to them and see how you did there. Ask for photos from Leeds University. If you don't see those photos, there is something amiss. But then you guys are too lazy to do that. Because why do that when corruption is better and it's easier? There is Switch TV, right? It had him on a couple of times. I think it was the morning live show. They actually called him again, and I think they wanted to make amends, or perhaps to have him deliver the truth. But the damage was already done. You should have done your due diligence before that. But there's always time to make amends. Let me just finish with that. You guys did wrong, but there's always time to make amends. The problem is, I think that you guys will still persist with your ways instead of changing. So anyway, the relationship with Ruth Ambogo, that was the kicker. Was it a business relationship? Because this guy, they say Fadhili, the son of William, he had a business plan to start an incubation farm. So the idea was to get youths who want to start up. Remember, he was a mentor at Blaze. supported by Safaricom. And then he'd give them working space, and then he'd help them scale their businesses, and then link them to opportunities. Sounds like a good thing. And he was to do this business with Ruth Ambogo, right? That was the pitch. And Ruth Ambogo explains that they were to rent an office together. But remember that this guy, his office, his previous hub, it had closed down. So he told Ruth that his chief financial officer had not paid rent for 9 months. Again, remember, chief financial officer, using big words to impress people, using big names to impress people. And the media is facilitating these lies. It's part of the con. And even though Willis will be held accountable, the media will not. And they will help another con. And they will keep helping cons. And that's how people will get hurt. Because they are there to watch. They're there to alert us. And they're not our friends. Because they're helping people who want to con us. So the burden of setting up the office, it lay on Ruth Ambogo, right? The son of William was supposed to bring furniture. And furniture is a bit expensive, right? Because a chair might cost something like a normal one, 17,000, right? Others would cost a lot. So imagine if he's to bring 5 chairs. So you can actually see Ruth would not be so reluctant to take care of the rent. Because this guy is bringing furniture. Anyway, Ruth also she borrowed the cash because she didn't have cash. 100,000. Remember, she was paying rent 70,000 according to social media reports, but she had to borrow 105,000, and she was unable to refund it, leading to a court battle with her friend. So the kind of life that we live, we need to evaluate it, right? I'm just saying. Okay, the truth about the troubles, the truth after the troubles, like what happened. What did Ruth kind of like discover when she could not pay for this cash that she had borrowed to start up a business with this guy? So this is what she learned. Fadhili, the son of William, had been living a lie. He had conned people who believed in his success stories. And who are the people who like spread these success stories? This guy spread it through LinkedIn. True. But I've never heard of him. So LinkedIn could not have reached me, right? He spread it through Facebook, through Twitter, through all these other mediums, but he could reach only a small number of people. He could even spread it through Blaze, but only Blaze had a few number of people. But there's an entity that has circulation. Millions and millions of people. The Business Daily, the Standard Group, and others. So these are the guys who helped him the most to con people. And we might, in future, think about not only going after this guy, but also going after the guys that facilitated him the most. At times, it was reported that Fadhili lied about the death of his relatives, and he organized fundraisers when he could not con anymore. People do this a lot. They do this a lot. Sometimes you are afraid, because when you get those fundraisers and all of those things, and you have the history of this person in mind, you're really afraid. Because if you send, you're helping a con, you're encouraging a con. If you don't help and somebody's in need of help, just because he made a mistake in the past does not mean that he should suffer this time. So it's emotional manipulation. And that's how these people survive. They manipulate you emotionally. They create an illusion and they present it well. And they look for names to give them legitimacy. They look for, like the media, to give them additional legitimacy. And then now they prey on you very well, using those tools that they've set up. There was a particular lady, right, that he lived with, according to Ruth, I think. He asked the lady to steal from her dad 250,000 so that she could help him. The chick was caught by the dad and she was arrested by police and kicked out of the home. So this is how these guys can affect your life. They will use you, and then they will keep using you until they can use you no more. There is no point in your life, right, when you deal with such people, that they will feel that they should now stop using you. that they would feel that this is enough, that they would feel that you have done so much for them, that they should not ask for more. No point comes at that in their lives. They will continue using you until it is over, because that is their trade. And because we have allowed it as a society, and because we are supporting it as a society, especially the media, right? So at one time, Ambogo had to involve Fadhili's father, who was a pastor. To our shock, the father had not seen the son for more than 2 years. Always, whenever I evaluate these guys who steal and everything, who con and everything, who lie and everything, whenever I evaluate them, I find that there's a problem when it comes to parenting. 2 years without seeing your son, honestly, there is a big problem. There's a personal experience where somebody stole something from me and I went to see his parents, right? I was young. I was in high school, but I went personally to see his parents. I'm that kind of person. So when I saw his parents, his father was a pastor. And when I talked to the parent, I knew this is where the problem comes from. Because the parent didn't care about the son's activities. I personally felt that I was more mature than the parent. And he was a pastor. Anyway, that's the way it goes. So here comes the tomato story. She says that she was cooking and she sent him to buy tomatoes. So of course she's admitting that he was in her home, right? So of course people have to switch it up a bit, because now she can't deny it. He was in her home, right? And so people say that these guys had an intimate relationship and Ruth is only mad because the relationship broke off for some reason, right? So Ruth said that when she sent him for tomatoes, she found 30 messages of guys demanding cash from him. So if it's true, then this guy, there's a whole number of people that he stole from, right? But none of them was brave enough to bring it forward and to push it. Or none of them had a voice. And those who had a voice did not do so until Larry Madowo spoke openly, right? And then Ruth Ambogo provided the meat for this guy to trend continuously. So that's when all these other guys, even those who had voices, they started speaking. Again, remember that these guys work in the same industry. Like the celebrities, most of them that he mentioned, they're mostly journalists. And those guys who are helping these guys to spread his lies, they're mostly journalists. Whenever you don't correct a mistake within your organization, within your industry, it always comes back. The chickens come home to roost. And even though they haven't affected you forcefully in this time, they will affect you in future. Remember, the media had breakfast to Uhuru Kenyatta and everybody. And from there, they lost sympathy with the Kenyan public. Anything, the chickens will come home to roost. So anyway, was it a sexual relationship? Because the son of William claimed on NRG radio, right, that he had an intimate relationship with Ruth Ambogo. That was his claim. Ruth Ambogo says that no, people are saying that I am one of the chicks that wanted him. Of course, when you're a celebrity, top 40, under 40, top 30, nominated to top 30, under 30, you're a mentor at plays. Chicks would look up to you and one of them would want you. They'd see that you're a guy with future and whatever. So she says that she's not one of the chicks that wanted him. She is not doing this because alikataliwa. And that's the problem when women come out to fight. Because putting them down is so easy. You just say I had sex with her. Or she wanted me. Dudes, when it comes to relationship, there's also a way that they're being brought down, right? Like Otile, non-performer and all those kind of things, right? So people will use certain kinds of stuff to bring you down. And that's the price that you pay for fighting. Because Ruth Ambogo chose to fight. And you will pay a price for it. Because now people will turn it on you, right? And they did when it came to her. People are starting speaking about her sexual escapades or lack thereof instead of what happened, instead of the con. The fake road to redemption. I believe that the son of William is not sincere in his road to redemption. The first thing he did was to blame it on his social media manager. And that's what these kinds of people do. They blame it on others. They won't take responsibility. Because they want to do it again and again and again. They're not ready to let go of it. He claiming that he will commit suicide. The idea behind this is that people would stop speaking. People don't want to hear the truth, because when they hear it, they have to change. So they try to find ways, emotional ways of manipulating it into silence. Like for me, when I speak about certain people, I'll be called a tribalist. When I speak about certain people, they'll say that, oh, I only see the negative in others. When I speak about certain things like a war, they'll start speaking about my dreads. When I start speaking about relationships, they'll ask, where's my wife? They don't want to hear the truth. Because when you hear it, you have to reevaluate yourself. But when you say that you'll commit suicide, then you stop. People start speaking about it. Again, this is one of the things that people need to get around when it comes to the suicide issue. Failing to tell people the truth does not help them. You have to speak the truth. You have to do it with a light heart. But you cannot indulge fakeness, because that would only reduce the symptoms and the idea behind the suicide within them. It will not solve it. Okay, suicide I'll speak about another day. Offering to refund or do free work, right? That offer to refund, it was plain and simple. I might pay you back. That is what he said. Of course, he won't pay back because he doesn't have money to pay back. But he'll just say that so that you can stop talking. Like when people say, I'll give you back your cash. Pesa kidogo hiyo unanisumbua. I'll give you back your cash. They won't give it back. They don't want to give it back. But they want you to stop speaking about it. He says that he'll do free work. What kind of work? If he was good at his job, he wouldn't have to steal. But he's bad at his job. So admitting that he was wrong and saying sorry. He does that all the time, all the time. And people will keep doing that in your life. They'll keep saying they're sorry, but still doing the same thing. Trying to capitalize on the crime or on the wrong. Like what he did right here. He's trying to get as much media attention as possible. He's trying to seek sympathy for himself and gains for himself. He does not care about what he did to other people. The guys who he took his money from, who he told them that he'll sell his brand, but he did not. The person is actually claiming that he had sexual relationships with. Because if you are sincere about changing, you wouldn't start mentioning those things, even if they are true. Because you'd feel what Ruth Ambogo felt. And you would not want her to feel hurt anymore. But you don't care about them. You're not finished with using people. So anyway, just to finish, hopefully, I had a lot, but anyway. When it comes to all this kind of stuff, how to handle people who try to take advantage of you. Speak the truth at all times. Bring all the affected parties together. Like everybody came together on Twitter and they spoke. Let the cat out of the bag so that he can stop doing that. Or other people can be wise to what he's doing. Do not indulge the wrong at all. Do not support him when he's doing wrong. Prepare your heart. Okay, when this guy is a family member or something like that, prepare your heart for heartache. You'll suffer a lot. Show as much love as possible. Pray to God, because he's the only one who changes people. You can't change people. So pray to God. And then prepare to let go of that person. Prepare to do that. The true road to redemption is that when people start caring, when he starts caring about other people, he'll reform. When he feels love within his heart, it sparks a change in such people. When you activate love within them, by loving them, they find everything that they ever wanted. They'll not share that love with you. They'll go away. Because you will remind them of who they were. So they'll go to other areas and all that kind of thing. Do not indulge their wrong. Do not support their wrong. I'm back. We'll do this again tomorrow. Another kind of way. The usual kind of way. So bye-bye. Take care.